Party. Let's go.
Let's do this.
2 weeks in a row, you say?
2 weeks in a row. So we got to let you guys know this is actually our second intro. We did start and did not record it, and it was way better. It was
Why
so
are you telling
funny.
all the secrets?
I don't think we can recap it, but either way, afternoon all.
We are trying video. This is a first attempt at video to bring the video to the Motivate You world.
Hopefully we don't scare you off by adding video to it, but you know.
The Motivate You is brought to you by Motivate Advisors, Motivate Investments. We're here to motivate you to take your business to that next level.
Yes.
And talk about different strategies, different techniques that you can do to get there. With me, as always, my good friend, Miss Cassie out of Fairfield.
Hello.
All right. So video, huh?
Yeah. So, you know, I think it's really important when you're a coach or a trainer or anything that you're doing that you kind of practice what you preach. So we always
probably practice some sit-ups.
You should probably just, suck it in a little bit.
I'm trying, but
so
Chick-fil-A.
I did tell you, so you have to suck it in. And then Linda roared at me this morning when came in.
You're very jungle.
She gave me a roar.
You're very jungle going on right now. It's,
so
it works.
It's
working. My shirt might be a little tighter. I probably should wear one that I didn't buy in junior high.
Probably.
I'm just kidding. I didn't really buy that. And then just to make sure everyone's aware, I had no idea my head was this bald. I mean, there's really not much hair left at all.
No comment.
So one of the 5 non-negotiables is being honest with yourself.
This is true. But actually that is what we're talking about today is
non-negotiables.
The non-negotiables in business. Whether you're an entrepreneur, it doesn't matter what industry you are in, there are non-negotiables that you absolutely must do in your business. So last week we kind of talked about the processes and the different tools, that's going to make you successful. These are the absolute musts.
Yeah. So we talked about the 5 things we would look at. Marketing was one of them. We looked at the events and the different types of seminars or events or different types of things that you're hosting.
Do it correctly and properly.
Yep. Thirdly, we talked about process, making sure that you deliver something of value, that's going to the clients that they haven't seen prior to.
Your client experience.
Number 4 would have been how to do case design and how to build out the right strategy for each individual. And then number 5, we talked about cultivation. So client cultivation. It was client cultivation.
4 was case design and closing.
Okay. If you want to go that direction. For crying out loud. Anyway, but no, you're right. It was. And so, one thing we want to talk about though, is in business, we've seen some weird stuff lately. I think it's COVID's fault.
In what way?
Well, I think people have just come accustomed to thinking that business is just kind of going to happen and it's going to be okay. I saw a lot of people in our county and where we live that became very local business based, right? They knew that everyone was struggling in the area. And so they just went to the local places and people did just show up.
Yeah.
But I think we're kind of going back now to a certain level where people are a little bit more outdoors, a little more free. They're doing their things and they're looking to try to find things of value now for different reasons than just being local.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's this common misconception, Cass, that advisors especially can open an office, hang a sign on the door, and then expect that people will just show up at their office and they're going to change the lives of hundreds, if not thousands of people.
Yeah. Which latter both would be amazing.
It would be fantastic.
If you've got the skills and the knowledge, the second part is easy, but the first part, I'll tell you what, if we find it, I would be happy to give it to everybody. 100%.
How to get people just to walk in out of nowhere?
Yes, always.
Yeah. We're not a bakery. Right? It's not something where someone's coming in to get a really good apple fritter.
Can we do like a maybe smell of money in the air that'll waft people in?
See, when I was a kid, we used to go to Valley Fair, which was a fair, a music park back in Minnesota where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
And no, you wouldn't want that money smell because it was wet from the flume.
And that's bad, but
we didn't have wallets back then. So we put it in our socks.
Yeah. You definitely don't want that money smell.
No, let's stick with the bakery.
So money smell is not a non-negotiable. So let's hop in. And we were always chatting about what we want to talk about. And it was talking about fear. And it said, fear can paralyze and absolutely destroy an entrepreneur's ambition and confidence, but only if they let it.
And this is an article from entrepreneur.com,
yes.
But fear is an interesting thing. And I think fear and greed they come from the same root of the emotion, but Fear is one of those things that when I was starting my business, I don't think I understood, because there's nowhere worse I could be. When I first started my business, I was so broke that I couldn't afford water for my family. There was the fear was that maintaining. It wasn't
the fear was just being able to live and survive.
Right. It wasn't the fear of like, I'm ready. I'm scared to take a chance. That's all I could do.
Right.
Right. There was I didn't go any further than rock bottom. Right. And then there is this point as an entrepreneur where you can get this, it's almost like the S curve that people talk about in investing. You get to this point of like complacency almost, where there's somewhere backwards. You could go backwards.
Right.
And so there becomes where fear changes a little bit, because fear is saying, hey, if you want to go to that next level, that's cool. But just keep in mind, if you're wrong about this move, you can actually go backwards.
Right. Instead of kind of just being comfortable at that plateau. And some people are, if you're at that point and you're comfortable and you don't, need to do anything else, kudos for you.
Yeah.
But if there needs to be a change. So that is actually number one, is stay fearless.
Yeah. You can't let these things control you. And you have to set yourself up for success with those things. So, one big thing we talked about last week, Cassie, was the momentum that can come from consistent marketing.
Right.
That's a great fear killer. Having a consistent stream of people that you get to meet with and show them your value is a great way to harness and get rid of and eliminate that fear.
Yeah. Because
the fact that you're able to do things the way that you want to do them for your particular company, and you're really in control.
A full calendar
lets
you know someone comes in and they're not the right fit. They don't have the right assets. A full calendar allows you to say, thank you so much for coming in. I can't really help you right now, but it was great meeting you. Bye-bye. And you can move on to the next one.
And who knows what the future is. And talk about a confidence builder, knowing that you don't need to take everyone and anyone that comes in your office. And so, that's on a very granular level, but you have to do things in consistency to make sure that you can stay fearless, because there's always going to be certain levels of risk as an entrepreneur. That's why you make the big bucks.
Right. And there's always going to be a little bit of fear in doing something new.
Or you might not make the big bucks if you don't take those chances.
Right.
Right. The world's always evolving. And going back to the COVID deal, many people went out of business during COVID. Many people went out of business.
Oh, yeah.
Other advisors that we know had best years that they've ever had. And a lot of that was they stayed fearless. They took those risks. They put themselves out there and they paid off. They worked. They weren't crazy out of this world risks.
No.
They were calculated risks, but they believe in the one thing that can make or break their business. That's themselves.
Exactly. That was good. Yeah. Who knows? That was a good one.
We should write that down.
I know, right? And then
that was
actually good.
You actually said something smart once.
Ding, 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 ding. I didn't have to give you a wah, wah, wah. Well, and when we talk about, so you say, the people during COVID who did really well, that kind of leads us to the second one, and it's creating, not waiting. And I think people run into this a lot. They're waiting for that silver bullet, or they're waiting for that email that's going to tell them exactly how to do something. And again, in any business you're in, instead of maybe taking a little bit of time, maybe a little bit of risk, working with other individuals and creating something.
Yeah. Creating opportunity is a very, very, very big deal. It's a very important deal when you're an entrepreneur, and keeping your eyes open for those different things and being proactive rather than reactive. We teach our clients, the financial clients, and we teach our advisors how to talk about the difference between being proactive and reactive. This is another one of those examples. When you're looking at your business, one of the old school books that's out there is Who Moved My Cheese? Great book that talks about, basically not staying complacent, not staying in one place, and realizing there might be something better out there. And that's really up to you. But and with all respect, it kind of comes down to the blame game and really being honest. As I mentioned earlier, really being honest with yourself, having real conversations. If your business is not where you want it to be, are you being complacent? Are you scared? It's okay to admit that. But to find an organization, and we pride ourselves on this, that you can go to and say, hey, Cass, Mike, I'm freaked out, man. I'm freaked out. I don't know what to do. What I've been doing this way hasn't been working, or maybe I could try this, but maybe I can't, maybe it won't work. We have that experience to be able to go through those different things. But you can create your success.
Yeah.
You're an entrepreneur. You're in this thing. This is up to you.
Well, it has to be, to stop procrastinating as well. I think sometimes people distract themselves with little things that aren't important. So, I need a new business plan. I have to create a new website. I have to, update my CRM, whatever it is. Those things are important, but you need to execute the things that matter the most right now. So if that is getting in front of clients, those little things can wait, and they're really irrelevant until you have those clients. So focus on the right thing and stop procrastinating on maybe what you're scared to take the leap of, or what you're not absolutely sure what to do.
I'm glad you said that, because the procrastination can come from the fear.
Of course.
There's a rule that a buddy of mine once mentioned to me. It's called the 80% rule.
Mhm.
If you ever wait till you're 100%, you're never going to do it.
No.
Right. So you get to the 80% mark, it's still going to be more than your competition, the most people around you are doing. And it's going to get you out there. And then what you're going to do is you're going to look at the 20% and go, okay, now let's fix 80% of that 20%, and then fix the 80% of the remaining 20%. And you can, so on. You'll never, and this is a warning sign for or shock, you'll never be perfect. I know you couldn't believe it. You will never be perfect. Your business will never be perfect. Your process will never be perfect. There's always going to be issues. It's always going to have to be a little bit of an audible in life, right? That's part of the gig. But the more prepared you are, the more that you're in control and you're proactive, the better you're going to be, rather than just sitting back, waiting for someone to open your door and show up and ask you for your services.
Yeah, because it's not going to happen, guys. So, and that kind of rolls really well into our third one as well. And it's focusing on really continual growth and development. And there's so many different arenas that we can focus on growth and development. So, basic stuff. Are you learning the new products? Is there something innovative, a new strategy that you can do? You should always be educating yourself on your business as well, so you in turn can help your clients. But then really think about how else can you grow as an individual. So with our advisors, we invite them to elevate you. And I love it. And I hope they do, because they come down and we do not discuss marketing. We don't discuss product. We don't discuss investments. We don't discuss, policies or anything like that. We talk to them about who they are as an entrepreneur and where are they trying to go and what are their goals in doing so. And it's really powerful because they take 2 steps back from the day-to-day stuff, the tasks that they have to do, and say, why am I doing this? What am I not achieving?
What's the end game with it?
Yeah. And it's a different type of development and growth.
Yeah. Because if you're not careful, and if you don't sit down with the business and personal growth and development, if you're not sitting down and really analyzing that, you can get stuck on a treadmill of never being happy.
Yeah, and that sucks.
Yeah, you can get stuck in a place where you're never hitting everything on all cylinders the way that you wanted to, and you're not happy with everything, and you're not smelling the roses. And I'm telling you, you can go from having $17 to being a billionaire in this country. There's no doubt you can do those different things. But having that structure and focusing on that growth, reading books, watching lectures, right? Learning more about your craft, becoming a better advisor. And then keep in mind that you can't do epic stuff with basic plans. Right. You can have excuses or you can have results. You can't have both. And so I would say one of the non-negotiables is take the excuses out of your vocabulary, throw them away, get rid of them. They're serving no purpose for you other than to hold you back. Sit back and say, okay, here's what I'm going to do. Here's how I'm going to do it. Yeah. And even if you do 80%, it's still going to be a hell of a lot more than what you would have done if you would have used the excuses. Well,
and I just read this and it's perfect. Every day you fail to grow is one less day you have to make your dreams become a reality.
Sure. I love that.
Yeah, that's great. And it is, we know in life, it's the little small things day to day. So I sent you a picture of one of our advisors, that I didn't know. I haven't seen a picture of her in a while, but she entered one of the, fitness contest.
Unbelievable.
And I sent the picture to Mike and we were like, no way, that's her. She looks amazing. She actually won the whole entire fitness contest. And we were blown away because in her post, she said, this is what I've been doing for the past 12 months. And we started that conversation that she did not go from day 1 to day, month 12 and looked like that. It took some time. It definitely took a lot of effort, but within 3 months, I'm sure she looked a little bit different. 6 months, yes, definitely. But when you look at a year, it can be the longest or shortest time depending on what you're doing, but the results that you can get from it are amazing
It
by
was
one day.
unbelievable looking at her, but it also came from more than just one thing. So you're right. She had to go in there. She met with someone and said, I want to take my body to the next level.
Right.
Just like people talk to us about, I want to take my business to the next level. Same idea. She said, I want to take my body to the next level. She went to someone who had already done that with themselves and other people numerous times. Proof in the pudding.
Yeah.
Success,
listened to them,
got it
followed
done.
it.
That person said, it's not just about lifting weights. It's about the lifting weights. It's about lifting weights properly. It's about the rest. It's about your sleep. It's about your diet. It's about your macros. It's about all these different things. And to your point, Cass, I'm sure that she saw times in the first 3 months where she went, man, I'm actually looking pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to bet that she dreamt of being this person in 12 months, but didn't know if it was actually going to really happen. And then eventually partway through that time period, she became a believer.
She saw it. She saw the transition and knew that she could do it.
Right. But what she didn't do, and other people do, what other people do is she didn't make excuses and she didn't give up.
She didn't stop after one workout and say, it's not working.
Yeah. I mean, my 13-year-old son decided to go work out there. He's getting pretty jacked up. He's 13. He's getting strong. He has big muscles and everything like that. So he goes and he works out. And the next day he says, Dad, I think I'm getting a lot bigger. And he starts flexing for me. He worked out one day. Right.
Right.
And so your business is the same thing. I always go back to fitness a lot. Your business is the same thing. You've got to do these things on a consistent basis, but it is absolutely amazing. If you commit yourself, if you truly dedicate yourself for a short period of time, what type of results that you can have that can absolutely change your life, your family's life, and everything forever.
Yeah. And you're focusing on the right things to get you there.
Right. Which means you can't skip leg day either.
Right.
No, for real.
You can't be, what is it when they're, huge and chunky and they got some chicken legs, that they skip leg day.
There's a lot of advisors and business owners that skip leg day.
Yeah, sure.
They skip things that you can't do. No one really likes leg day. Leg day.
I never minded leg day.
Oh, good God. Leg day is the worst for me.
Yeah.
But what does that have to do with it?
Well, because I'm not trying to bulk up and be beefy and my shoulders, my arms, girl, I would imagine want to be balanced.
You lost me.
I don't know.
Anyway, but no, I mean, if you're skipping one day, there's going to be a deficit there. There's a deficiency there. So you can't work your butt off for 12 months. And then after it'll go, God, my legs didn't do much at all. Did you ever work them out? Yeah. No, I never touched them. Well, no shit.
Yeah.
Excuse my
and
language,
it's a lot harder to get back on the horse once you stop too.
Right.
So if you're working out, it takes more to lose the weight and get tone than when you stop. It comes back so much faster. That muscle mass depletes so much faster. So, it's this pain in the ass thing where you're working out, you're feeling good, but just like in business, you feel like you're at a good point. So what do? You stop.
You think, you go on vacation.
You go on vacation.
You quit.
Yeah. Which everyone deserves a vacation, but when you come back,
if you
got to hop on that horse again and go.
But this is something that Paul, a friend of ours, said yesterday on one of our mentoring calls that we had was, do you actually deserve the vacation?
If you have achieved that goal.
Hold on though. If you haven't paid people, I know if you're going to be able to cover your employees' deals, is the vacation the right move?
I don't believe so.
Right.
I think that would be a non-negotiable.
You would think so. So that's part of the deal when you're talking about making money better or making your life better and going through things and focusing on that growth. Part of that's also being an adult and looking at your business and saying, okay, I'm really in a good spot or I really need more work. Yeah. And then being honest about that, because that's how you get out that roller coaster. So when we go to number 4, you talk about making money matter. It says that this is the quote from Cole Hatter: don't wait to get rich to make a difference, but rather make an impact as you get rich.
I love that. In our business, especially, I know, huge base model of Motivate is that our advisors are doing the right thing for their clients.
Huge.
That they're not selling, they're actually consulting. So I think we'll say, Mr. Cole Hatter, thank you so much, but you can make a huge impact on someone's life, make it so much better, relieve their stress, and get rich doing it too. Yeah.
We're in such an amazing business where we can absolutely change and transform people's lives if we do it right. And it can also do the same for yours, which is a pretty powerful thing. When I look at making money matter, I would actually add another M. Yeah. Making money matter with momentum.
Momentum money making matter.
More money,
More money.
more money making. Never mind. Let's just make money matter
Those too
by
many
adding
words.
momentum into your life. And what I mean by that is when you earn a certain check, not all that's yours. Folks.
No, definitely not.
Make that matter, because just like Cassie mentioned about how it's easy to lose the body, the muscle,
Mhm.
and everything when you're working out, it's just as easy to lose the momentum in your business. And when you lose the momentum in your business, then you lose that confidence. That fear starts to sneak back in. Your ego gets involved, and it's a really vicious cycle. It's a really vicious cycle. So, realize that having money set aside just to make sure that you're always able to run your business, keeping that momentum going,
Mhm.
that's going to be something that can also help you be much more fearless.
Yeah. And when we talk about making your money matter, it's also knowing your metrics in your money. As you guys are, let's say you're doing in a marketing event, you absolutely need to be tracking what was the ROI on that, and not just your production.
Yeah.
How much did each person get you? Was it to acquire? How many was it to get them to the first appointment? How many was it to get it to the close? When you know these numbers, you can change direction and steer your ship. If you're just throwing money at something and waiting for a client to come in and moving on, you're not going to make the best decisions.
So let's go scenario one. Scenario one, advisor calls in, decides to do a marketing program with us.
Yep.
They spend $1,199. One of our programs that we guarantee 35 people will register for their event.
Yep.
So the advisor comes in, pays $1,199, ends up having 72 people sign up for their event, just for argument's sake, right? And they have 72 people sign up for their event. And then from there, they get 11 appointments at these events.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then from there, it stops. The momentum stops. Only 3 appointments are able to have, 2 appointments, 1 appointment, 5 appointments, whatever it is. There's time periods when you're looking at this. And I bring this up because her conversation, her comment about metrics is extremely important, is to know which part you need to fix.
Yes.
Right. And it goes back to my non-negotiable of always being honest with yourself. Right. Because you have to look at it and sit back and say, okay, if whoever you hired for marketing got you in front of 70 to 100 people, you had a bunch of them show up, and a bunch of people wanted to book appointments, and then none of them show up for the appointments, that's where there's a break.
Sure. We can tell there's a little bit of a breakdown there. So we have to discover why.
Right. Is it the follow-up? Is it the conversation? Was it the wrong topic? Were they the wrong people at the event? What was it that actually made it happen? Because more than likely it's something that might have to do with you. Right. And maybe not the company that actually got the 72 people to sign up. Right. So that's what I'm talking about when I look at these type of scenarios and it's hard. It's hard sometimes to admit that, but to understand the metrics, like you mentioned, that's how you're going to actually fix it for the next time. Mm-hmm. By being honest, by looking at this and saying, if I do this, I can fix it next time.
Right. Yeah. And everybody should know, especially as an advisor, you guys are making budgets and plans for your clients. So absolutely make sure you're taking the time to do it for yourself. And the hardest thing is tracking and paying attention to it throughout the year. So, make your money matter.
Every time I heard the word urgent, number 5 is urgency. And every time I hear the word urgency,
does it make you anxious?
No, I think of Dirty Dancing.
Why?
The urgency. The part where they start, just remember. Don't you remember from that song? No. The urgency. Just remember.
Oh, that's like when the lift and everything is.
So yeah, I'm sorry for everyone that just had to hear that.
I had to see it. Oh, you guys saw it too.
Just remember.
Wrong camera now.
The one thing. Nothing?
Yes, I remember.
The urgency.
Urgency for what?
Urgency for all sorts of things.
Hurry up and get off the podcast.
Well, urgency there. Everyone's like,
I'm
urgently leaving this podcast as fast as possible. No, urgency comes in a lot of different forms. Your clients are there to talk to you, and you have to create a certain level of urgency, or they may never make a change.
Yes,
people don't make changes because they're comfortable. People make changes because of extreme happiness or extreme pain. And so if you're not able to create a situation where they see that something could go wrong, by not making the decision, you're missing out on the urgency. Yeah. So we had a good example on one of our mastermind calls yesterday that we had where one of the advisors was like, oh yeah, this guy wants to move forward and he wants to do this, he wants to do that, but he's going on vacation. So when they get back in a couple months, they'll look at this. And one of the gentlemen on the call said, well, is the wife aware of what happens if the husband dies while they're on vacation?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
This was a great scenario.
And it is, because it's really, really not a great situation.
No, Dad, no, that's not what I meant. It's not at all.
No, but you're saying the scenario
the wife
as the
would be in big trouble.
Right. So urgency for the clients are going to be important.
Yeah.
Urgency for you as a business owner are going to be important,
Mhm.
right? You know, providing comfort to your team that you can pay them,
Yes.
providing that feeling that there's job security there, doing all the things that need to be done for your family. There should be an urgency in you. You're the one, you're the only one. If you're running your business, if you are the owner, you're the only one that can control how urgent and how non-urgent things are going to be with your business.
Mhm.
You're the only one that can control what time you get up in the morning and what time you stop working on your business on a daily, day in and day out basis. You're the only one that really knows how strong, how solid, or how weak and how scary it is, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be something that creates an urgency, but you should always be in a situation, in my opinion, where trying to find ways to constantly better yourself, constantly better your client situation, and constantly better your business.
Yeah, that should be, it's almost, it was stop procrastinating. So look at your business and see what are the most urgent things that I need to do right now. Toss the fear out, toss the questions out, do 80% of it. Because I guarantee when you hit that 80%, you lift your head up, you're going to be in a better spot and you're going to feel better about yourself too. Then you work on another project while you're finishing that 20%. Like you said, nothing is ever going to be perfect, but if you're putting in the urgency, you're putting in the time, you're moving forward and you're going to have the right thing happen.
Number 6, never put baby in the corner.
No, stop.
All
That's
right.
not.
Sorry, I kind of had to do it. I got the song in my head now. It's stuck. I can't help it.
Yeah,
I can't help it. But there's the urgency. Oh, you know what I'm talking about.
I
Part
do.
of the song
Yes,
where he's really into it.
I know.
He's
I get
into
it.
it. So
he makes a Patrick Swayze face.
So what else are we missing here that we haven't talked about? We've talked about making sure that you're staying fearless, that you're creating constantly, you're being in front of things, you're
always
being proactive, you're not being reactive.
Yep.
We want to focus on growth, not on excuses.
Always growth and development.
Make yourself better.
Yep.
Don't suffer from excuse-itis. It's not a very attractive quality.
Right. Know your money.
No posers.
Make it matter. Poser. Yes. No posers. Don't be
posers.
A poser.
Be real. Your clients need someone that's
Get
real
out
right
and do
now.
it.
Making money matter more than just going to
Yeah.
going on vacations and things. There's the money can do amazing things for your business, people's peace of mind, your confidence, your fear.
Have it make sense and make it matter.
I like that.
What you're spending your money on, it has to make sense. And then lastly, guys, just as a little reminder, urgency.
Sing it.
Urgency. I'm not going to sing it. If you want these things to be done, you got to put a little pep in your step to go ahead and accomplish it.
No one's going to do it for you.
No,
I think that's
we'll help. We'll always help.
People will support
but you got to do it. You have a network. I'm sure you guys have people. If you don't, give us a call.
If you have people, but they're not doing what you need them to do, give us a call.
Yeah.
How do they get a hold of you, Cass?
So guys, you can always call us. Local number 772-247-4488. You can email me, Cassie, Cassie at motivateadvisors.com. So,
all right. Thanks,
hope
everybody.
that was helpful, guys. Remember, those are your 5 non-negotiables in business.
I think there's 6 because I said honesty.
You always have to throw an extra in. That's fine. All right, we'll go with 6 non-negotiables. So,
but until next time, I'm Mike Terrio. This is Cassie out of Farrell for Motivate Advisors, Motivate Investments, bringing
we gotta
you
wave to the camera now.
Motivate you. See you soon, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Have a great week. Bye-bye now.